So, I talked to Jack last week, and I was telling him that I have three of my favorite types of movies, set in the world of like horse racing, newspapers, and boxing. So this was right up my alley.
What's your favorite newspaper movie?
Oh man, well, the paper I love Michael Keaton. I love anything with Michael Keaton. And Ron Howard directed that, right?
Mm,
I feel like he did. And then got the one with Dustin Hoffman and Robert Redford. I'm blanking on the name.
President's Men.
Yeah, I mean, you know, and then
Have you
see,
ever seen Have you ever seen His Girl Friday?
I have not, but that was based on what was that? They had another movie that was based on kind of that, right? Recently or in the past, whatever.
Yeah, they made about four movies.
Yeah.
It was like Hecht, Ben Hecht wrote it, but yeah, it was made in like 1939, 38, something like that. It's my favorite newspaper movie of all time,
Okay, I'll have to watch that this weekend. Yeah, I love old movies like that.
and it's black and white, so it's reminiscent of what's good about this movie.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, I mean, and you were fantastic, and I just love this movie. It was just terrific.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, you know, I also love how it like took its time. How we learned about these characters, not necessarily for like dialogue, but like action and like their reaction too.
Mm.
How did you actually just get involved in this?
Well, Zach and I go back. We acted in a movie together. I don't know, 15 years ago, and we've stayed friends since. And then we ran into each other just as he was getting ready to get greenlit for this, and said he'd written and was about to direct a movie. Would I have a look? And I said, if you've written and directed a movie and you're thinking about having me in it, I don't need to have a look. I'm in because it's Jack Huston, and he's one of the most beautiful souls I've run into in this long, sordid, horrible slog of mine.
What would you have done if like the not that it did, but what would you do if like the script stunk?
Um, for Jack Houston, I would have just kept my mouth shut, kept my head down, and gotten through it. But luckily, that was nowhere near the reality.
Right. As a first-time filmmaker, I think he knocked it out of the park.
I did too, and a lot of really important people are saying that. Martin Scorsese presented the film in New York a couple of weeks ago, and he said this is the best film debut, directorial debut he'd ever seen. So
Oh, wow. Can you tell the difference between a director who is an actor as well and a director who's never sort of been on the other side of the camera?
no,
Really?
I can't. I mean, I mean, you know that that's the case, but it's not apparent because on the day, especially on all the days we had to film this, which were way too few. The whole movie was made in 20 days, which is an incredibly crazy schedule. The only important thing was what the director is telling you, what he needs, and then when we have a shot at executing the scenes, how we all felt about it. I didn't see an actor there. I just saw a filmmaker, and my obsession was to give him everything he needed to realize what his vision was.
You guys are peers, so what was your relationship with him like on set? I mean, like what was his directing style towards you?
He's a fan. I mean, she's a cheerleader, and he's also he likes every once in a while quote his granddad, who happened to be the greatest of all time, John Huston, who said the whole 90% of it is casting, and so when you get that right, and he felt like he did get it right across the board because everybody in this movie gives really, really effective, hauntingly beautiful performances, then they're going to come to the party with almost everything you need. And the only time a great director gets involved is if somebody is um, needing some sort of a prodding. But a great director will recognize oh my God, that was as good or better than what I imagined, and let's just move on. And that's the way Jack works.
Do you like, you mentioned the fast shooting schedule. Do you like shooting that fast?
I do. If you look at my resume, it's like 95% of it is low budget indie movies. And so that comes with the territory. There's not a lot of resources to have like a, I mean, I think Hellboy's schedule was 110 days of filming. We had 20. So,
Oh, yeah.
but I do like working fast. I feel like having read about a lot of actors and talked to a lot of actors, it boils down to there are a lot of people who are best on the early takes, and there are a lot of people who need a lot of warming up, and they don't start cooking until like take 12 or 13. If I get to take 12 or 13, I'm ready to put a gun in my mouth and pull the trigger until it doesn't work anymore, to quote a great Marlon Brando line.
What's the most takes you've done at like ever, you think?
34.
Oh man. Man, so where you just go like
I'm
nuts.
not gonna mention the movie or the filmmaker, but I wasn't wishing him well. What's going on?
So after like in your head, you were done after like what, 2 or 3 takes?
Yeah, I had what I thought I needed after 2 or 3 takes, and then
Oh,
everything after that was no longer my problem. It was his problem, and
mhm.
I and I and I and then I'm also aware of the fact that when you get past where you feel like you're most spontaneous and you're most real, and you're having to do it over and over and over again, you're actually relinquishing uh, what is best in your contribution. Um, so when you're aware of that, it's like even more frustrating.
Yeah. Your character, you're like the father figure of the film, or to Michael Pitt's character. And you guys are supposed to have known each other for, forever, I guess, maybe even since he was a kid. Uh, like, what did you do to going to before you started filming to forge that in your mind? Like, do you do anything like prior to, you writing notes in the script and all that?
I do on occasion, but there are certain movies where I just want to be um, open and raw. And watching Michael Pitt prepare for playing Irish Mike, I realized he was so open and raw and uncontrolled, and that's a willful act for an actor to walk onto the set and relinquish control in the name of spontaneity and whatever it is that's coming out of you at the moment. Um, I decided that that was going to be my wheelhouse. Like, I'm just going to tune into what Michael Pitt is doing and then react off of him. And my everything that I need to have revealed about their relationship will be revealed by just cluing into Michael and staying there and being there for him. Because I think that was the dynamic of the relationship from the get-go. This kid walks into his gym. He's a troubled kid. He's got some bullshit happening in his home life, but the gym is a sanctuary for him and a place where he's able to bring out his best skill set. And Stevie recognizes that and says, this is something that needs nurturing, and this is something that needs encouragement and some tough love at times as well to keep him on the tracks. So that was the dynamic.
I've only got like a minute left with you, and I hate myself if I didn't ask you this question. What's been your worst audition ever?
Pretty much every audition I have is I'm a horrible auditioner.
Are you? I can't believe that.
I am a horrible. Luckily, I don't audition anymore. And part of the reason is it's you can easily interpret it as, well, this guy's too arrogant to audition. I think he's a big star, but I just don't want to have anyone see me in that state. I'm a horrible auditioner. And auditioning for me and then actually getting the part and playing the part are two different complete skill sets. And so I'd prefer to stay with the one that I'm more comfortable with.
Well, I wish I were in that position. I just did one this morning. I was like, ah, but
Yeah.
well,
All of mine are like that.
well, you feel me. You feel my pain. Hey, I love everything you do, and this movie was really, truly great. I loved it.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that.
Yeah, and thank you for chatting with me.
My pleasure.
All right, see ya.
See you.